Welcome to episode 82. We are back. It's Thursday once again, folks. Do you know what that means? Some comic conversation coming at you with a lot of good topics tonight. First, I do want to say the NFL draft is tonight, so we are competing with that. I know Chris and myself don't have to wait. Well, we will have to wait for a while because the Pats are like at the end, right? Second to last, Eagles are last, so we get some time before we have to check in. Also, it's Thursday, so maybe people are at Infinity War. So if you're choosing to be here with us, whether you thumb it up or you thumb it down, you're here with us. You clicked on the video. We appreciate you, so thanks. A lot of great topics. It is Alien Day. I think I mentioned that, but we do have, of course, Infinity War to talk about. Trailers. Deadpool 2 came on to tracking, so I think that we can maybe make predictions for that starting. We'll get into that. Some movies are being optioned. Comics are optioned from some of from you know what I mean. We'll get into that too. And a lot of good stuff. So let's go around the room and catch up on what we've been doing since episode 81. And we'll go ahead and start with Boston Chris Comics, since you're not on mute.
So for me, I've just been kind of, just same old work and everything else, taking care of the baby and all that. And then also, I did a video before I came on and unboxed one of my top 10. I did watch the debate, the fanboy fight club, and got a little bit rowdy in the chat just because as fandom happens to do, you do kind of get a little bit partisan on your side. So I got a little bit overspirited, and so I just wanted to go ahead and I had gone ahead and made an apology in that video as well about it. So but other than that, just kind of having fun, having a good time. And then just looking forward to coming on the show and discussing all the different things that happened for this week. Pretty cool stuff that did come out for this week as far as comic news and everything is concerned.
Yeah.
So just going through the week, hoping to get to this point, and I don't think I'm gonna get to see Infinity War this weekend. So I know it's just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to just cover my ears, eyes, everything. Just kind of go into sensory deprivation to stay away from any kind of spoiler, because I know people want to spoil it. I can see it in people's I can see it in their eyes already.
No, I think that people are getting to that point, at least, where they're being much more respectful to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Understanding the whole spoiler effect. I think enough people have been spoiled now to where they're like, damn, that does suck.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
It definitely does. But I mean, it's just, it does pain me a little bit to be like, I might have to wait another week. Like I'm trying really hard to see if I can finagle a way to let it happen for Sunday, but I don't know, just because my wife's schedule is on the weekends is kind of crazy because she just tries to do all the errands that she can. So it's just like, can we just sneak out for 2 hours? Just 2 hours. That's all.
Yeah.
But
get a sitter. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. So that's I don't know if I could wait that long. It'd drive me nuts.
I know. Late to the party, but what can you do? It happens.
Yeah, right. All right. I'm going to give a couple of shout outs to people in the chat, and then we'll kick it over to Justin. So Iron Galactus was first. Thank you for that. Jason Smith was second. Nice to have you here. Jackio is with us as well. Always love having Jackio here. Comically Flawed says, "What's up, Edwin?" And then says, "What's up, everybody?" Jason Smith, I think I already said that. Liking the covers, 4963. Nice to see you. He says hello to the panel and everyone in the chat. So nice to have you here with us. And we also have Lunchbox Comics there with us as well, and Vincenzo C. So we get some good people rolling in. So I'm happy you guys have chosen to be with us. Or maybe you're got the TV on in the background and you're watching the draft at the same time. Either way, thanks. All right, let's kick it over to Justin.
Hey. Yeah, good solid week. My pull list has been cut down to almost non-existent levels at this point, so that's why I'm like, condensing new books for one haul that'll be up tomorrow.
Yeah. That's always tough because we feel like I don't know. It's like I feel like I have to do a haul video, but like I have like 4 books. What do I do?
Yeah, it's like it's not worth it to do that. So yeah, combination. Wait a couple weeks. It's all good. And then of course Sunday morning comics this week. I'm gonna be going over the free comic book day books, seeing what we're gonna find next weekend. But of course, this weekend lies ahead of us. Infinity War is here. I think I'm going tomorrow night, so I'm pumped about it.
Awesome.
Beta Ray Bill. What? Beta Ray Bill. That's all I'm saying.
Is that a spoiler?
No. That's wishful thinking.
No. But didn't we see his
statue?
No, his hammer or something
or
like that?
memorial or whatever.
There was like a Funko or something where it had Stormbreaker in it.
Well, no. I mean, that's what the Thor's new axe or Thor's new hammer in Infinity War, the toy, it's called Stormbreaker.
Yeah. So he had Stormbreaker, but then he also had Heimdall's sword at one point too, in another toy. He's just like collecting up everybody's stuff when they die, maybe. Who knows?
He's using all the weapons.
Yeah. They all form together to make like one giant weapon.
Slash and smash.
That's right. All right, Edwin.
Not a lot, guys. Just I've been pressing a lot, but it actually makes me appreciate coming on the show because you guys kind of bring me back to comic book reality. So kind of keep me in the loop of things and stuff. Because I kid you not, I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday morning, just pressing books. I had some orders that I had to meet and just to kind of keep customers happy, but it's all taken care of and I can get back on a regular schedule. So
cool. Yeah, that's what we try to do here. Kind of round up all the latest news, the greatest news, and unpack it and make it easily digestible for everybody.
It's good because you guys fill me in on things. I'm like, oh, really? Now Red Goblin's gonna be Norman Osborn's son or whatever. Like I didn't even know anything about
Normie,
grandson or whatever.
Normie. That book is on fire, man. That first Normie, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I know.
That was like $1 book. Like so I see it's like $30-$40 on eBay. That's insane. Yeah. So I did a couple. I've been doing well, let me just say this. I had to put some of my my Hulk 181 money towards some medical bills.
Oh,
so that cut down quite a bit on my 2018 want list, one book that I got. So I gotta build that back up, build up the coffers again. So what I've been doing is trying to figure out other things to do. Since I wasn't buying as many books, right? I still want to have content. So doing a lot of review stuff. So I did a review for what did I just see? Ninja Batman, which I thought was really cool. If you like anime style, it's a really cool take on Batman. It was just a lot of fun. Mecha anime especially, which is right up my alley. And like style wise, it was really neat. I'm gonna have to look for. I know there were some statues. I forget the company, but there was like samurai. They did like stormtroopers, and they did a bunch of different characters. They look really cool. Spider-Man 263. That's the book. So I did that. Doing a couple review stuff. And I do have a couple books that I should probably. Yeah, I probably got enough for a haul video, I guess. So I got a few books, so that should be coming up on the channel. And then my contest actually ends on Sunday. So that's a couple days left to get your entries in for the contest.
I haven't forgotten.
I haven't either. I've just run into the dilemma of what is my favorite story?
We'll just pick one. It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Pick the whole story around when Beta Ray Bill came.
The Ballad of Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's a couple days left. It'll be Sunday. Now, if enough people tell me, holy shit, I need another day or so, I might extend it. But, at this point, I would like to end it then and then do the drawing next week. So next Saturday, what I started doing is the first Saturday of each month doing like a like a live like Q&A type of thing. So I'll probably do it then on that show. The drawing for it, live drawing, pick the winners. There's 3 winners. I know people, I tend to do the same. If I don't keep saying it, it's like one of those out of sight, out of mind things. So it's like easy to forget, and I see people there like liking the covers, comically flawed. It's like, last minute. So hopefully you guys have the reminder now, a couple days left, and you'll get those in. And I'm seeing Infinity War. I was just telling these guys, I had a ticket for Friday, and it was like they called it an early viewing type of thing, but technically it was only like 1 hour before some of the other ones. And you get like the coin and some of the stuff. It was a fairly expensive ticket compared to what the normal tickets are. And it was a really crappy seat. It was like way up front. I would have had to be bending my neck back the whole show. So I canceled the ticket. It just didn't seem worth it to me. So I found a ticket for Saturday morning, which is when I'll be seeing the movie. Like 10 a.m. I think it is, or 10:30. And I got a really great seat, like nicely centered. It's one of the dining theaters, so it's like the super wide leather seats, that recline. So super comfortable and nicely centered. And it was a really cheap ticket. It was like, instead of paying like $25, I paid basically $6 for a ticket. So it made sense. And then I would like to do, and hopefully whoever wants to join, you're welcome to, a review of the movie on Sunday night. So probably doing that this Sunday night. Whether it's a spoiler show or spoiler free is to be determined, but I definitely want to talk about the movie and get the review out pretty quick. So we have that to look forward to. And that's pretty much it. Enough of the plugs and what's coming up. Let's get into the topics. So first thing is that this is Alien Day. Do you guys know why they picked today for Alien Day?
The ship.
Mm-mm.
Wasn't the ship?
Wasn't the ship.
Oh.
Nope. The planet was called LV-426.
Oh wow.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. That's where they landed at LV-426. So 426, April 26th. Now we have Alien Day. It's the 3rd annual Alien Day. There are a bunch of stuff out. There's some games out that you can play, like a pinball game. There's like a bunch of discount stuff, marathon stuff. I don't know what channel it was. They were doing an Alien marathon, so pretty cool. So I was thinking, just to kind of celebrate Alien Day, do a couple like trivia, fun fact stuff throughout the show. So I might kind of break up some of the topics with some random alien facts and questions. So expect that. I guess we could start with a question.
Starting with a question.
And maybe there'll be a prize. Who knows? What in Alien 3, how did Ripley die? Was she blown out of an airlock? Did she jump into a blast furnace? Or was it a chest burster?
I know this. This is easy.
What do you guys think in the chat? Let's give them a minute.
That was the one where she had the Harley with the chainsaw, right?
That was the one with the prison colony.
Yeah, I know.
With the super
prison colony.
They were all called.
So yeah, so in the prison colony one, which is Alien 3, how did Ripley die? Was she blown out of an airlock? Did she like swan dive into a furnace? Or was it a chest burster that killed her?
You know what? That's a trick answer in a way.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeff Johnson gets it. Chest burst, then drop into the fire pit. That's right.
There you go.
So she did the swan dive off of the thing, chest burst, as she was basically just falling into the fire, and boom, dead. And then we get Cyborg Ripley, and I think it was Alien 4, right? Where they revived her. Was that Alien 4?
Super Ripley.
Yeah, since we're talking about the movie, a fun fact with that, the director wanted to see. Remember the scene where she like shot the basketball behind her?
Yeah,
nothing but net, right?
Yep.
They said to her like, "That's easy. We can just CGI that. Just do your hand, and then we'll CGI the ball, type of thing." And she's like, "No, I want to do it." So she was practicing like day in and day out, and she did it. That was actually her doing that. And she said that when she did that, and it like she heard the swoosh, that was like the greatest acting moment in her career. Was that moment. So I thought it was pretty cool that she like wanted to make that like, practical effects.
Nice.
So cool. All right. So yeah, we'll get into some other stuff later on in the show. But since the big thing this week is Infinity War, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit about that. It did open up in overseas markets. I believe it was yesterday. And that was 21 markets, and it actually pulled in already $39 million. Not open in America yet, and it's already made $39 million.
The show.
I think that's
the show's here start in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's right. 9 o'clock. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Those lucky people.
Yeah, I know.
And I do have all of the predictions here. We said it was 200. They upped it to like 215 or 220 for the weekend. But I think pretty much everybody agrees on this list that it will be closer to 300 million.
Oh yeah,
like in the 250 to 300 mil range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jason Smith. No, Jason. No. You said 350 million. I'm not changing it. He wrote 300 million in the chat.
Are you taking the chats?
Oh, we already did. We did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a while ago we did
that weekend that you were at the Dallas Fan Fest, Comic Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we did those, because we try to do it right when it comes on to early tracking. So we'll actually do Deadpool 2 today as well. That came on to tracking today, and it's projected for 150 million domestic opening weekend. So 150, and I think it will probably crush that, to be honest with you. But we'll get into that. I don't know. Anything you want to say about Infinity War other than
I think it's gonna, I know, right? I think it's gonna blow. Well, here's the thing, man. I've been hearing through non-spoiler reviews that there's not a lot of rewatchability, if you want to call it, for this film. I could be wrong. We could be wrong. We could like it and see it multiple times. But from what I'm hearing, people are saying like they wouldn't. There's no point in seeing it a second time. And I think a lot of these movies kind of bank on people watching multiple viewings of these shows. So I think that's one of the things I'm kind of interested in right now as far as this film is concerned.
Yeah. Oh God.
What happened? Did you drop your ASM 300 in the water?
No, I have it up there. It's nice and safe over there.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking of some spoilers that I know. And I wish I could say these things that I have in my head.
I'll say this, man. People who are not comic book fans at my job are talking about it. So,
yeah.
A lot of people are going to go see this film.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely have friends that aren't even really that big into the movies themselves, but the hype for this movie is like drawing them to it. You know, they're like, man, no, I heard this is going to be nuts. Like, they're just putting all the superheroes in it and stuff. Man, it's going to be cool. I was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Yeah, this has been like 10 years, 18 movies in the making. You know, build up on it. Lunchbox says no spoilers. Yeah, we're not doing spoilers. Don't worry. None of us have seen it, so we can't like truly spoil it even if we wanted to. But no, we respect that the whole no spoiler thing. So
yeah, and I think I mean I wouldn't go by anything where it's just like, you know, watch it, you know, you can only see it once or whatever. I mean, I'm not a good person to I guess be put into that category, because I remember, was it Return of the King? I think I had seen, and if that's why people are saying, oh, like, you know, maybe there's no more watchability because it's like supposed to be the conclusion or whatever. I had seen that movie in the theaters. I think it was 4 times. So I mean, doesn't make no difference to me. I'll see it multiple times. I'll end up buying the DVD when it comes out, and just enjoy it all the way through. I think that it's going to be, for me at least, just like you said, it's been 10 years and all these different movies leading up to this point. So it's just going to be really fun to see where it goes. And, just to kind of get to that, final closure moment. If it is that, I mean, if not, then, and there's, going to be more of the story after the fact and everything like that. I'm looking forward to it too. So, I mean, I just, like I said, the only regret I have is that I probably won't get to see it. That's it. But I will see it, and I will probably see it more than once in the theater, just to really, get the experience and have some fun with it.
Absolutely. Jeff Johnson said, "Do you guys think it will beat Black Panther?" And I would say to that, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot. Black Panther's not going to hold on to that spot for much longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's Black Panther was really impressive, what it did. But this movie, it's got Black Panther in it. But it's gonna do. My prediction was 285.5, which is definitely more than Black Panther did. So,
did I say anything on that list? Because I don't remember.
No, you didn't. No, I'll throw you down here. What do you got?
Is it domestic or worldwide?
Domestic and opening weekend only. So Thursday through Sunday.
What's the highest?
Highest we got. Okay, I'll give you the range. So Comically Flawed said 218. That's the lowest. And then Jason Smith is the highest at 350 million.
Oh wow, he went higher than I was thinking, but I was thinking pretty high. I'm gonna say domestically first weekend. Golly, man. I'm gonna say 290.
290? Okay.
Yeah.
You're like 5 million off from me. 290. Did anybody else say 290? No.
$1, Bob.
Yeah. $1. Come on down. Okay, cool. Oh, my bad. Comic Book Brother said 200 million. So he was right. He was on the early tracking thing. That was the thing. We do this with early tracking, and then when there's other stuff coming out and the social media reviews and then the full reviews, these all change and that number fluctuates. So that's kind of the challenge with this, is the early tracking is just that, early tracking,
Mm-hmm.
So with the aliens, they open their mouths and you see like all the stuff that looks like drool.
Yeah, it's not like the saliva that looks like.
Right, the acid saliva. You know what that is? It's shredded condoms. That creates the dependence and stuff. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yep.
From Alien, Sigourney Weaver Alien.
Yep.
I know that they made them out of like trash bags and stuff. I read that.
Yeah.
They were constructed with low costing material, but
yeah, you're right. Like I said, I was just gonna throw in some random facts here and there. So I think we'll do some of the CinemaCon stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get into our predictions for Deadpool 2 so that people can think about them. So we'll get into that. NES at 285. I think I had NES on here. No. Jeff Johnson said the Infinity War movie comes out. Warriors and he will be going to East Coast Comic-Con. So that's gonna be a hell of a weekend. Absolutely. NES is predicting 285. Okay, cool. I got you down, Mr. NES. So there's a big con. It's called CinemaCon. It's basically a thing for just what that is, cinema, right? So they talk about movies. A lot of the studios go. They release trailers. They talk about what to expect coming up, things like that. So one of the things, DC was there. They released some footage for Aquaman, which seemed pretty cool. But James Wan was very adamant about saying this has unfinished visual effects. In fact, he didn't really want to release it, but they were like, yeah, we need to kind of put something out for this this panel that we're doing. So he was like, this is unfinished, but here you go. It seemed pretty cool. Obviously, they didn't release it. It was just for the people there, but the description of it was pretty neat. It was like a submarine that he was messing with and all this stuff. So it sounded interesting. And, you know, some of the feedback from it seems like it's going to be a pretty cool movie. You know, I've been hearing not really much negative about Aquaman so far. So that's pretty telling. So there was that. They released some behind the scenes for Shazam as well, which they didn't really. Yeah, that's just nothing. But they do, and I think TiVo said it the other day. Really need to do something in terms of footage for Shazam, because right now all we have is that Zachary Levi footage of him like at that mall, like in the Christmas scene.
Yep.
And everyone was like, "What the hell? That looks like some bad, like shitty cosplay." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they need to kind of do something to like calm some of those people's complaints, you know. So hopefully we'll get some footage in the near future for that. But they also announced a new Terminator movie that's official. Top Gun 2 is official with Tom Cruise, and also they're going to be making 2 more Star Trek movies.
Wait a minute, Top Gun 2?
Top Gun 2 with Tom Cruise. I have a feeling he's going to be one of the instructors now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not going to be the hot shot
pilot. Need for speed anymore.
Nah.
Is Iceman coming back?
I have the need for Geritol.
Poor Val Kilmer.
I know he let himself go, didn't he?
He's just enjoying life. He doesn't really care.
God, you're making me call. Yeah. But Paramount said 2 new Star Trek films, so I don't know about that. I guess it's going to be the Abrams stuff.
I'm pumped about it no matter what, just because it continues to get it out there.
Yeah, you know, Star Trek, you know, we'll see.
Yep.
What they do with it. Now, there was talk about Tarantino doing some Star Trek.
Oh, wow.
So maybe that's one of his, or, you know, who knows?
It would be like jumping all over the place. Like, they just have like a random callbacks all throughout the movie. And then, you know, like you're not in the beginning, you're actually in the middle when it ends. And then at the beginning, it's like, you know, 3 weeks after the whole events had taken place. Like that would be kind of weird. I don't even know if would they let Captain Kirk swear that much too? Like,
well, if it's Tarantino, they will. It'll be them talking, and then the third act will be like this crazy, like massively bloody scene.
Yep.
You know?
That would be nuts. It's just, and then does that mean that Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in it? Because he's a big Tarantino, you know, staple. Like
oh my gosh,
so many movies.
Yeah, he'll be like, say, beam me up again, motherfucker. Yeah. He is always in the movies, and Leonardo DiCaprio is always in his movies too. Seems like. Did you guys ever see the show Black? I'm sorry. Did you ever read the comic book Black through Black Mask?
Yeah, I have the first couple of issues.
You do? Interesting concept. So basically, it's what if only black people had superpowers?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of just, it goes from there.
Yeah.
But that was picked up by Studio 8. It's going to be directed by Seith Mann. And they're hoping it's going to be part of a franchise, that whole thing. So that book has been opted. And it should be pretty interesting. I like the first couple issues.
How recent was that?
That was about like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I want to say 2 years ago.
Really? I'm just wondering how much of an influence Black Panther had on that decision.
Oh, no.
This was probably...
They were saying that from the beginning. Like it was going to I think it was like at first they had thoughts of making it a a show on like Netflix or something like one of the streaming services. That's really where the hype came from for that book, because it was just like
nobody pulled the trigger until after Black Panther. But I'm just saying, nobody pulled the trigger on it until after Black Panther.
Well, now it's just it's actually going to be a movie, but I think that is who knows? I just remember hearing about that was part of the whole reason why people were saying in the very beginning, oh, you got to pick this book up because it's going to be a TV show and or a movie or whatever. So it's just, it might have just been people speculating for speculation's sake at the time, but it's definitely you know.
I mean, at this point, it feels like we're getting an announcement of like one comic a week getting picked up for something.
Yeah.
Very crazy. Last week was what, Injection. This week we got Black. So what will next week bring?
Actually, today we got another one. We put it up on Comic Booked. It's through Vault Comics, the independent publisher.
Oh, is it? If it's Heathen, I'm very happy.
It is Heathen.
Yes.
Yep, it is Heathen. Natasha Alterichi's book about the crazy lesbian Viking.
Like it.
So
it's a good book. It's a good book.
It's cool.
Before you let the labels deter you, it is a good book. It's a very good read.
Yeah.
Speaking of Comic Booked, what is that? You should plug that.
That is a comic book website where you can find news, reviews of movies, comic books, podcasts, you name it, cosplay. It's all there. Check it out.
That's right.
Sounds like a good place to go get your information.
That's right.
That's right.
And, I mean, if you ever wanted to write for a comic book website, hit me up. I can make that dream happen.
Make dreams come true on the show.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that's going to be through Constantine and Prime Universe. No cast or anything. They just have a writer. And it's the writer. It's the writer who did Alex Cross and What Happened to Monday, which was a Netflix movie.
Okay.
With I think it was Noomi Rapace, who actually was in an Alien movie. Basically, it was like her, and it was like all of her, like 7 of her, and each one was named after a different day. And then the one who was named after Monday was like disappeared. And bum mystery. So
then we got a Deadly Class official movie announcement too, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We sure did.
Or did we already? I think we already.
I don't know. Is that a movie or a TV series? I forget.
We talked about it. I can't remember.
It's a Netflix series, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix series.
Yeah, I can see it as a series. Yeah.
I've never read it, but I know a lot of people just really love that series. So
yeah, I read the first 2. It was pretty good. The first 2 books.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I by the time I heard about it, it was already up to like issue like 30 or something like that. So I may go back and pick those up and trade just because I've heard some really cool things, and I guess it was just it's a really, I guess, fun book in terms of that, like it's just kids that are going to a school to learn how to be like basically assassins, and it's just like but it's a fun take, and I guess it's you have some of just like the regular drama of being a teen in school and everything, but you also have the added element of being an assassin and everything like that. So it sounds like a fun book to pick up.
Well, here's the thing: if Marvel does pull their properties away from Netflix, I really think Netflix should go after these Image properties. There's just because a lot of the Image properties are darker, which in my opinion would fit Netflix a little bit better. I think it's a great opportunity if they kind of think ahead of the game here. And
well, yeah, I mean they've already gotten a bunch of the stuff from the Millerverse and stuff like that going on. So I mean they're already gone ahead and gearing up for when because it's not a if, it's a when Marvel goes ahead and pulls that stuff off of this. So they know that there's a lot of heroes they can draw from, and there's a lot of properties that they can put in to slot for those Marvel ones. Yeah,
it's a cash cow right now. I mean, you look at what Marvel's done. Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion. Yep. Right now, they've pulled in about $10.4 billion.
And why
their movies? Cash cow, absolutely a cash cow. So all these other studios and all these people, these streaming services and stuff, they're all trying to look for that next big thing, that next IP farm, and they're trying to get it before the next guy does. So it's the in thing right now is these comic book and superhero adaptation things.
Right. Because in what reality did you really think that Rob Liefeld's universe would get picked up by someone? I mean,
who thought there'd be an Avengers
Yeah, I wonder if they're banking on his success with the creation of Deadpool, maybe.
Yes.
They're riding on his name. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Because let's face it, outside of us here and like diehard fans, who's heard of those other characters, right? But you've heard of Liefeld, you've heard of Deadpool, you've heard of Cable probably at this point.
And so many of his creations look like Wolverine, Cable, Deadpool.
Yeah, Blood Wolf looks like a really hairy Wolverine.
All of them are such a ripoff.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Blood Wolf is supposed to be like Harry Lobo.
Oh yeah, Harry.
Guys, I mean, they realize that you can get away with just about plagiarizing so long as it's got like a 30% different. So long as it's like 30% different or something like that. I think that's the number. Just give it a new name. Change one or two aspects of it.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing. That was my favorite thing about Youngblood was like their symbol, like their little like emblem or whatever, was a Y. That really is just an X-Men where they erased one of those.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is just they just kind of in a way paying homage to where they came from and seeing that. I guess in a warped way, paying a little bit of respect to where they came from before, but also giving them the finger and be like, look what we're doing. We're gonna make characters that are popular based on your designs in a way, and sit there and make a whole bunch of money off of it. Which I mean, you can say it didn't replace, but it definitely did make them pretty good money.
Well, I mean, in some cases though, especially with Liefeld though, most of he was realistically just drawing his characters. They were his characters. Like he created them. He didn't get to bring them with him. So he had to be more creative and come up with new names for the same characters.
Pretty much. And it's just like, you know what? I mean, and why go through that and not go to what you're strong at? You know what I mean? I mean, if he knew how to do it, and then just put enough variation on it and then draw the same exact stuff he had been drawn for the last 5-6 years, why not? You know what I mean? It's nothing. I mean, could you imagine having to draw something similar to like Fantastic Four? I mean, that would have been probably a chore for him, but it's like, no, I'm just gonna keep drawing X-Force and X-Men and just give them all different names and change up the color schemes, and that's what I'm gonna do for the next like 5-10 years, and then eventually when I get past that, I'm gonna make some some brand new characters and kind of pepper them in, but for the most part I'm sticking with my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and they're all gonna have variations on dead, blood.
Yep.
Yeah. I just saw a question. Lunchbox Comics said, anybody see Liefeld's pouch guy that he created?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was pretty funny, yeah.
Oddly enough, on this Liefeld cover there are no pouches. No pouches. It's amazing.
Wow.
Probably because was it Liefeld and Milgram, Al Milgram.
Yeah, not even on Cyclops's.
These are really bad. These are just triangles.
Yeah.
But look, I ain't ashamed, man. I like Liefeld's older stuff, so I ain't ashamed.
Oh, I'm not either, man.
We all bought that stuff, man.
I pick it up when I see it.
It wasn't for him at the time. See, that's the thing that a lot of people want to be like, oh, giving him shit. Like nobody bought that stuff, being like, oh, this is a Liefeld book. This is people bought it was like, oh, this is X Factor. This is X-Men. Like I love these books. I'm gonna keep collecting them.
Right.
And then as people got a little older and not sophisticated and realized that like there's an actual artist that's doing this that has a name and everything, then they just sat there and picked on the man. I mean, the whole Captain America thing really didn't help. That I think is really I think more so than
breast implants.
Well, yeah. Well, not even just that. The chest is completely warped and the arms are weird and everything. And I think that's what really. I think that more so than his older stuff is what got him the trouble. Was that
somebody did like a skeletal. Like how they do like the medical things, and it was just a skeleton, and it was like, what would it look like? What would Captain America look like? And like the chest cavity was like giant. It was funny. So another alien fact. Here you go. The first alien from the first movie, it was this guy who was a graphic designer who was like 7 feet tall. They found him in a coffee shop, and they said, "Hey, you want to be the alien?" It was more complicated than that. He had to audition, and he beat out another person who auditioned, which was Peter Mayhew.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Who plays Chewbacca? Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I know the guy who played the alien. Wasn't he from Africa or something?
Yeah. He was. I forget his name. I don't remember his name, but yeah, he was undiscovered. He did graphic art.
Okay.
Before that, so yeah.
It's gonna hurt if you're Peter Mayhew, which is like, no, I'm Chewbacca. You know, I got a resume. It's like, yeah, no, we want this guy that we never heard of. But that's a whole reason. I guarantee I know why for that, because they want to save some money. Like,
I think his role with Chewbacca though was far more popular than Alien.
I'm sure.
Oh, of course, but the thing is, I mean, Peter Mayhew demands a price tag. The guy that's sitting in a coffee shop doing graphic design.
Exactly.
Listen, I'll give you $300 if you put this suit on real quick.
Hey, guess what? You get to make a movie. He's like, hey,
exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, but he didn't have any lines, so he didn't become a member of the Screen Actors Guild.
Nope.
There you go.
Was he credited?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, who knows at this point? I mean, just a story behind him. Coffee shop, graphic designer, unknown. I'm pretty sure he wasn't credited. I'm pretty sure that they're just like, yeah, just throw him in a suit and let him be.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, what was it? 76 or whatever that movie came out?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like $300 and 76 was a lot of money. It's like, hey, here's $300. Just
right.
You can tell your friends that's you. They won't recognize you, and they'll tell you you're a liar, but that's okay.
Yeah. Here's a couple more connections. Meryl Streep tried out for the role of Ripley. It went to obviously Sigourney Weaver. Yeah. Meryl Streep is somebody that they're petitioning to have play. We talked about it last week, I think, Carrie Fisher. Whether you like that or not, that's something that's, been talked about. And then the other thing I was going to say, shoot, I forgot what it was. It was just on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God. So there's a couple scenes where they're like panning over the colony. And one of the things you get to see in there, it's the same shape, and it's basically an homage to it, is the Tyrell Corporation from Blade Runner.
Yep.
So there's a connection to that movie too. Very loose connection, but yeah, there's a connection to it. So
that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, right? Yeah. They're saying some quotes in the chat. Game over, man. I like that one. Yeah. I like last elevator to hell going down. That's another one. And then I think it was Newt who said, my mom told me there are no real monsters, but there are. That's a cool line. So.
Aliens has the best. Alien, right? The first one has one of the best taglines of all time. Where in space, no one can hear you scream. Like
that's right.
No matter whether or not, I mean, whether you thought it was going to be a horror movie, whatever. That line alone would probably make people be a little like, "Oh, this is gonna be scary as shit." Like,
yeah,
just because. I mean, and it's so simple, but it's so like just it really grabs you, and it really makes you just kind of start, kind of like the whole leaving it to your imagination. Like, shit, no one can hear you scream out here, can they? Makes space scary. It makes whatever is out there scary. Like, it's just that whole fear of the unknown, which I think they really, really captured well on that movie.
Yeah. That was a real slow burn, that movie. It ratcheted up the tension till the end, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the next movie was just, like, balls to the wall right away, right? Yeah. Like, it's like gunfire from the beginning, basically.
Yep.
So, completely different, but both cool. Okay, so we talked about Infinity War. The next movie is going to be Avengers. Well, not the next movie, but the next Avengers movie will be the fourth Avengers movie, which is actually up until then, MCU hasn't done. They've done like trilogies. They haven't gone to the fourth one. So Avengers 4 will be the fourth one for that.
And it's already been filmed.
They're well into it. There's much speculation on what it will be called, and I think that Kevin Feige said they're not going to say officially what the name is until next year. So we got to get through a couple more movies, Captain Marvel and what are we getting? Ant-Man and the Wasp this summer, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll get through those, and then next year, early next year, hopefully, we will get the name for it. But there's been some speculation. In fact, somebody today, I think it was today, said that they had a friend who worked in the studio, and this is completely like I would,
Yeah, my cousin's sister.
Grain of salt. Exactly. So they said it's going to be called Avengers Endgame.
The last installment?
For Avengers 4, which makes sense because if you think about it, it's the end of the phase. Feige has repeatedly said that once we're done with this phase, it's going to be a completely different look and feel for the MCU. And in fact, they might even do away with the phases, like all this stuff. So saying Endgame is like it's the end of what they've done so far. It's the end of the phase. It seems like it might be the end of a lot of the Avengers, right? So it kind of like it fits for that. But I don't know if that's going to be it. There was another thing where somebody was, I think was it earlier this year or last year? It doesn't matter the time frame. Zoe Saldana was being interviewed, and she was like, "Oh, so what are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going back to shoot for Gauntlet pretty soon. We're going to be doing some more, footage for that." So she said Gauntlet. And she was very clearly talking about the next movie, not Infinity War. So Avengers Infinity Gauntlet is a very high possibility for what it might be called. And Feige has said that it's not because it was originally Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2, right? But they said they split that up, and they said it's not. It follows it, but it's not like a direct sequel necessarily. So it makes sense to not have Infinity War Part 2, but it would make sense to have Infinity something, right? To have that loose connection to it. So Gauntlet fits, and that's what Saldana kind of like let slip out. But then you have like Infinity Crusade, Infinity Watch, Infinity Wars even. So, there's
Infinity
a couple.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
right.
The Infinity Four. Yeah. So you have those, but then you have other things I think would be pretty cool because they said that the movie, the title will scare people. Endgame doesn't really scare people, but words like annihilation or disassembled, right? Those are words that will be like, okay, what's gonna or decimation, those are words that would fit that bill of
Avengers
scaring people, right?
Avengers double the price of the last one. No.
Yeah. So I was kind of curious what you guys think about what to kind of expect. There's some obvious stuff. So for we'll call it phase 4 for now, but there are 10 official dates set. You can check them out when these movies will be released all the way up to 2022. They all say untitled Marvel movie or something like that. But Feige did say that they do have storylines planned all the way out to 2028.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of possibilities there, and it ties into a couple things that we were going to talk about, which were, first, Nova. Right? You guys know who Nova is.
Yep.
Nova. So there was a recent press conference, and again, Kevin Feige, he's the guy. He's like the guy who controls everything. He said, if we had a big board with a bunch of characters that have immediate potential, Nova is on that board. He's obviously connected to the Guardians, and he was actually supposed to be, he was in one of the earlier drafts for Guardians, the first Guardians movie.
Yeah.
So he is somebody that, they definitely want to get out there. They can use at this point. Another thing that we were talking about, and I know you mentioned it, Chris, was Moon Knight as a potential. Yep. Now, he said he would like to do something with Moon Knight, but he did qualify it with this. He said, does that mean 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 15 years from now? He said, there are stacks of character cards that we have in the development offices. Oh, wow. They look at it, right. And they pull from that. They discuss them. Like they look at the comics. They see what will fit with the direction they're going with. And that is the stuff, all that potential stuff that they have through 2028. So, that's a potential. That the other one, the obvious ones, and I'll let you go in a second here, but the obvious ones are going to be a sequel to Black Panther 2, right? That's kind of a no-brainer. Guardians 3 is confirmed. Homecoming 2 for next year. They're talking about a Black Widow movie in 2020. I'm sure we'll get a sequel to Doctor Strange, right? I'm sure there'll be. I'm sure Captain Marvel will do well. That means a Captain Marvel 2, especially if they get into you know, some of the stories with her, like, you know, the Kree Skrull War, obviously, but I'm trying to think what some of the other ones were. Anyways, you know, there's some stories, cosmic stuff. And then, of course, we have to, it's not official. They're not quite thinking about it yet. But then you have all of the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom, X-Men.
Galactus.
Galactus. Once they get all of that, then they could do what I said was Annihilation, because that was the Annihilus wave and stuff like that. Although they could easily, you know, switch that out with the Chitauri or something like that, but and there's still Warlock. Where is he? Let's get some Warlock going, guys. You know, so
seems like Warlock was teased though at the end of Guardians 2.
Yeah, wasn't there a cocoon at the end?
Yeah, she was gonna make the perfect being.
Yeah, and she's like, I'll call him Adam. So
yeah,
you know, there's that. The cocoon was in 1. And after that girl releases the power gem in the collector's store, his museum, when they come back to it later on, the cocoon's broken. So, you know, I think that they haven't full out. I think that the Guardians 2 is going to end up being, I guess, more the origin that they want to go, where, you know, I guess that's supposed to be like Aisha goes ahead and creates him.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably going to end up being the one that they go with more so than the cocoon. But you know, it is kind of you know, they've done well to kind of keep him under wraps and not bring Adam Warlock out. Even though, you know, it would be kind of cool to see him, or to have seen him up to this point. But then again, I mean, if they're going to be doing more stuff with, you know, Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity, you know, just in that realm, I mean, he'd be a really cool character to pull out at you know, the appropriate time. So, would be pretty cool. Trying to think what other characters kind of fit in that mold, and also too, it's just kind of, you know, I wonder how long they're going to be on the cosmic route until they, you know, maybe, you know, go into like more of the you know, occultish route, you know, with like characters like Ghost Rider, Man Thing, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I don't think Man Thing would necessarily be a good movie, but I'm just saying, you know, to have characters in that vein, you know, I wonder if they're going to kind of you know, move from, you know, cosmic to more of like, you know, the whole like, you know, mystical element. And
well, that's what I was gonna say. There's something you didn't mention that Jesse didn't mention was isn't there supposed to be a sequel to Doctor Strange?
Well, yeah, he said he showed there'll be a Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
I think what they want to do, or what they might be looking towards is, you know, kind of just going away from cosmic and going more into that, you know, whole like occultish type feel, where it's just like, okay, so now you have you have these just kind of like spiritual worlds between dimensions. So, you know, we got to see Dormammu's dimension, and you know, but maybe, you know, you're gonna pull in somebody like Mephisto, who's gonna bring in, you know,
that
more
would be
like, you know, demon universe and stuff like that, and it's just like going between, you know, different realms and all that type of stuff.
Jason, is this the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Look at him showing off. Give me that book, man. You know, what I wanted to piggyback off Jesse real quick. Whoever said that this comic book superhero movie bubble was going to pop, they need to rephrase that. They need to think about that, because I don't see this stuff going away anytime soon.
Exactly. Especially the people that compare it to the 90s.
Yes.
Completely different landscape. We could talk about that, you know, at some point. That's an interesting topic. How there's no bubble, that is. So
it's just become like this is just one aspect of like entertainment now. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it's complete and utter own genre at this point. You know?
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, it has kind of taken on a life of its own. The thing that makes it, I guess, tough is, you know, maybe not for Marvel. Maybe Marvel will be around for a while. It's just getting some of the other companies off the ground. You know, that might, you know, so some people, I mean, as much success as Marvel's having, there's going to be companies that are going to struggle. I mean, you know, Warner Brothers and DC has had their struggles, but they're starting to kind of turn it around. I just would hope that anybody who's trying to get new content out there, whether it be Image, whether it be Valiant, whether it be any number of different people. Just take your time and really just go ahead and establish things and just go at your own pace. Just because to chase Marvel now, I mean, even when DC was trying to chase Marvel, it's just such a can't do it. Marvel's off and running.
And since you brought that up, I'm hoping that this pressure from Infinity War and even the Deadpool trailer where he was like, "It's getting dark. You must be from the DCEU." I'm really hoping that this puts pressure on Warner Brothers, man, because I want to see good DC stuff. Like as a comic book fan, I'm a fan of both. I'm not Marvel or DC, but dude, I want to see a Superman film. I want to see another good Batman film, and I don't mind Aquaman as long as it's good.
Right.
Well, the thing is, I would be I don't want them to feel pressured as far as like, no, we have to match it, because I think
pressure's good sometimes.
Well, yeah, but that's where I think actually got them to the point where they were just throwing out anything and hoping that it would stick, because the thing is, they were trying to be like, no, we have to compete with this. It's like, no, you don't. But like, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes, you do at some point, but like, establish your stuff and then make something that, as you establish yourself and get yourself to a, comfortable point where your stories make sense, and then what you're doing, feels good to you, then you can, if the quality's up there, like, then you can go ahead and compete. Like I mean, and that's the thing. Marvel wasn't always up there either. Like, if you're gonna look at, I mean, it wasn't, DCEU movies in that way, but Dark Knight really was a great movie, and I mean, it
was executed wrong.
Well, it was incredibly done, and it's just like, yeah. Now that was a director that knew the story he wanted to tell. He was comfortable doing what he wanted to do, and unfortunately for them, like, it didn't happen in the span of, the movies they're trying to make, where it's like, full out DC, universe. But the thing is, for a long time, I mean, if that was going to be the measuring stick for comic book movies, Marvel knew that we have to work up to that. So how do we get ourselves comfortable with what we're doing to get to that point and to beyond it? And I think that's what DC never had, as far as being their own entertainment universe. It's like they never had that, because everything was kind of just spread out amongst, all these different companies.
Yeah. I wish they had started, if they want to do a shared universe, like they looked at Marvel, like, hey, that's the formula that works. Look what they're doing. That's a formula. That doesn't mean that's the only formula.
No.
But that being said, I wish that they had started with Chris Nolan's franchise as the beginning of it. I think that would have been a much better starting point for it. And they were kind of building with it, like with Robin and stuff. They had some teasers that they could have like picked up on from there. But that would have been a perfect starting point, using one of their core characters, and even then they could have done like solo movies around that. Like, they still could have done the Batgirl, they still could have done the Joker, they still could have done the Harley, Suicide Squad. All this stuff could have still fit, very easily with that, without having to completely restart everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Yep.
So the other thing I want to mention too, do you guys remember in Aliens, and for people just coming in, it is Alien Day 426, which is LV 426, the planet that they landed on in the movie. So we're doing periodically through the show some fun facts and stuff like that for Alien Day. But there was a scene in the second Alien movie where Lance Henriksen, who was the android guy, right? He went up to Bill Paxton's character, and I think his name was Hudson. Was that right?
Yeah.
I always mix up Hudson and Hicks. Hicks was the leader.
He was Kyle Reese.
Yeah. I forget the guy's name. Anyways, so Bill Paxton didn't know until like basically they were ready to shoot that he was going to be doing that knife scene with the fingers.
Oh.
Yeah. So Lance Henriksen went up and like when he was like screaming and scared, that was actually him like legit scared about it.
Nice.
How many of you have tried that?
And I think Lance Henriksen accidentally stabbed Bill Paxton at least one time.
No way.
In one of his fingers with the knife.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is they did that they did that also in the first movie with the chest exploder. And what happened is like I guess they didn't make it known. Yeah, so the alien that like popped out. So I guess the actual actor that was on. I mean, he had the prosthetic on there and everything. So he knew it was coming. Nobody else did, and so they were filming it. And I guess the way Ridley Scott had put it out there, he was just like, I want this to be a really terrifying scene. So in order to really get true reactions, you have to really just kind of let it be. So what happened was that they knew that they were filming. They knew just being character. This is what's going on. He's having some problems, and then we'll see. So everybody's reaction in there is natural. I guess except for except for the guy that was having it pop out of his chest. Everybody else was like freaked out and didn't know what was going on. So that's pure terror that you see on their faces.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Comically flawed. He goes back to the Spaceballs thing.
Yeah. Hello, my honey. Hello.
Yeah.
It was Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know him from other things, and I'm just like, and I didn't want to say other characters' names. I'm just like, the guy that played him. I'm not gonna mess this up. I'm just gonna let it be. Yeah. He'll just be ambiguous, but you all know his face.
Yeah, he did. He was in a lot of stuff then.
Oh yeah, he was. I remember he's the bad guy in V for Vendetta. But
I think.
Who are we talking about? Did we just switch people? I'm confused.
No, same
Who's
person.
on first?
Yeah, right. I thought we were talking about.
Yeah.
I heard you were talking about Chris.
Huh?
Come on, Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn.
From the Terminator.
The guy who played Hicks?
Yeah, he was Kyle Reese from Terminator.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was on Tombstone.
He was not in V for Vendetta.
I don't think so.
All right. No. All right. Yeah, Jesse threw me for a loop there.
This.
About the old man from the first Alien.
Yeah.
No, he was the guy from V from Vendetta was wasn't it the guy from The Matrix?
No.
And from Lord of the Rings?
No. He was V. He was a good guy.
Yeah,
the bad
that's
guy,
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The bad guy was the guy who gets his chest exploded in Aliens.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're all back on the same page now.
Okay.
Yes. Same book, same page, same library.
That's right. One of the alternate drafts for the movie was turned into another movie. And that movie was Pitch Black.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Pitch Black with Drax.
Yeah.
No. I'm lying. With Rocket. No, with Groot. Oh my God, I can't get my names right.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel. Why don't I just say the damn actor's name?
That's crazy. I didn't know that they had.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be an Aliens film.
Yep, originally, yeah.
Wow.
One of the it was adapted from that.
That makes sense because the first Pitch Black was pretty good. Chronicles of Riddick, not so much good movie, great game, but but Pitch Black was really good. Like I remember that. It was actually John Hurt. That's his name. Thank you,
John Hurt.
I knew someone would say it. But Pitch Black. That explains so much now. Like that actually might.
You can see it. Like once you hear it, it's like okay, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think might be coming up? Kind of going back to the what's coming for the MCU? Anything that you guys think might be something worth looking at, or I know we talked about the Eternals a while back, but that's another like big grain of salt type of thing. We were talking about the fact that Thanos is a deviant, which is kind of a derivative of the Celestials and the Eternals and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Quasar. Quasar is going to show up.
Quasar.
There you go.
He's like, Quasar's coming. But he's up.
Was it Nova? Wasn't Richard Rider Quasar at one point? A Quasar? I think he was.
Maybe.
I think Richard Rider was a Quasar.
I know.
I thought Wendell died in Annihilation, and then that's when it went to Fly Lavelle, whatever her name was.
Phyla, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember anybody in between there.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Not 100% sure, but yeah, like a few people have been saying that Quasar's on his way, and you know that it only makes sense that he would show up at some point. And I wonder if that would be kind of more of a connection to Captain Marvel, you know, in those movies further down the road. I mean, it is kind of he's not quite, I guess, 100% linked to Captain Marvel, but it's definitely something I can see being, you know, a team up or something like that down the road.
Yeah,
so, that would be kind of cool.
He is a Marvel owned character. He was in first in Captain America, so it's something that they could use now without waiting for the whole merger.
Well, his first name was Marvel Boy,
right? Yeah, he started
as Marvel Boy. Yeah, and I mean his suit does have similarities to you know the Captain Marvel suit as well, but you know I just don't know if that would be something that where you kind of have like I said, the kind of like a smaller role in like the Captain Marvel movie, something like that. But he would be a cool character to see on screen.
Jackie said the Sentry. I think that would be cool. Any of Marvel's like Superman.
Yeah,
would be cool.
Sentry would be awesome.
But I feel like I don't know. I don't think they would go with like Sentry or Hyperion or anything like that. If they were going to do it, I think they would go with Blue Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Blue Marvel.
He's
a very Sentry-esque character, right?
Well, just in the way they did the origin, But I mean, basically, Superman plus a super genius, you know?
Yeah.
I'd like.
What about Jack of Hearts?
Jack of Hearts could be cool. I could see him.
He's interesting, and he's the one who blew up Avengers, the Avengers Mansion.
Yeah,
remember? Yeah, like it was like a zombified Jack of Hearts, and you walked in there and just that's where he got disassembled.
Yeah,
which was not long before M Day, right?
Yep.
And House of M.
Right, and remember, you know, we got that confirmation that they were going to age up Cassie Lang, so we could potentially be getting a stature. We could be getting other younger superheroes introduced in other films at some point also, and then get a Young Avengers movie.
Yeah,
Young Avengers.
True. Well, Young Avengers is cool.
And
then you could get into like from there the Young Avengers and like the
Children's Crusade.
There you go. Yeah.
The Children's Crusade. That would be.
You'd have to get into like M Day and stuff first, though.
Yeah.
Before you kill all of them. But if you do Quasar, you could do Starbrand also.
True.
Right.
And Night Mask. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. So like New Universe. Hey, Marvel New Universe. There you go. There's Phase 5 for you.
Go grab those dollar books.
That's right.
At one of my shops, literally, I think they have the entire run of Starbrand in the dollar bin. Some of them are kind of beat up, but for the most part, I mean, it's just like, I think it was $1.50 each. It's just like,
let me get some.
Let me get some.
I'm gonna...
Jackie said Black Knight. That would be cool. I don't know how they'd fit Dane Whitman in there, but I like Black Knight. It's one of my favorite characters.
With his horse. He'd have to have his horse.
The Pegasus.
Yes.
Ebony Blade.
I have heard rumors that following Infinity War, they were gonna go probably like they wanted to go the route of New Avengers, which would include bringing in like Luke Cage and Wolverine, stuff like that. And it's just like I don't see how feasible that is right at this moment. Maybe down the road, I don't know. I mean, I think they'll stay away from something like that, like New Avengers, something like that.
Well, they would just add in other characters and subtract out the ones that. I mean, they're not going to bring in Luke Cage for an Avengers movie.
Yeah,
that's Netflix only. They're not.
New Avengers. You could do your Spider-Man, your Ant-Man and the Wasp. You could do all of those, the Falcon, stuff like that. If you want to kill off or like contracts for, if you want to kill off those contracts for the what are their names?
What?
Like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth and stuff. If they're done, then you go with the newer people: War Machine, Falcon, Spidey. That could be your new Avengers.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Gomez. But I think we could all agree that nothing Marvel can do at this point would go wrong unless they just didn't care.
They would have to try to mess it up.
Yeah.
I mean, just because they take such care in getting, things to where they want to be. So even if it was somebody like, well, maybe they go ahead and, what if they put like a C-list hero movie out? They could do it so long as they worked it in the right way and put it so that they want to, put it so that maybe the C-list character isn't in the forefront, but they're actually in an important part of the actual story. I can see that working. I mean, I'd like to see them kind of do things that are a little bit, not so much as obscure, but just give some new life to some pretty, just maybe underutilized heroes and stuff like that, heroes and villains. Just kind of take things in a different direction. Because, I mean, going with the Guardians the way that they did, I mean, that was a, huge gamble and risk. I mean, Ant-Man as well, I think, too. And but it's worked out for them. So I think that would be a great thing to do to try while you try to bolster some, like while you're waiting for something like Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and all those to come available. Have a couple of more, smaller time heroes and villains and everything, and just make some really quality stuff with them. But
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Adam just left. Thanks for joining us, Comically Flawed. He gave a prediction for Deadpool 2.
All right.
At 182 million. So let's get into that, actually. Yeah. The early tracking came on today, like I said earlier in the show, at 150 million, I think was what I said. Right? Is that what I said?
It's probably made his budget already.
150?
Yeah.
Yeah, 150. Domestic opening weekend. So Deadpool 2, there was initially a rumor going around, debunked, that it didn't test very well, but it's actually right now they're saying it's actually scoring higher in testing than the first Deadpool movie.
Nice.
So,
and I was going to ask you because sequels are usually not as good.
Yeah, right.
As the first film. So, do you guys think it's going to be better than the first one?
I kind of do. I was a little bit worried once Tim Miller left. The first director. He's got a good vision.
Yeah.
He had good camaraderie with Ryan Reynolds. They kind of like worked really well together to, they were both fans and,
But he's doing the new Terminator film, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. But this new guy for this looks great. Okay. Jason says 250. And then, of course, you guys have obviously seen the trailers. They have arguably one of the best like viral and social media, marketing campaigns of any movie ever, I would say, easily. It's pretty insane what this movie does in terms of getting people excited for it. And then, of course, there's a little bit of a gap for Infinity War. People are going to be like riding that high still of like the fun of a superhero movie. And then you get hit with like, oh my God, crazy Deadpool. I got to go check this out now. So I think that instead of it impacting the movie negatively, I think it's going to help sales for Deadpool 2, if anything.
Yeah.
Is my prediction.
I don't think they're going to cannibalize the audience on this at all. I think that, like you said, people are going to, go ahead and see, Infinity War and then, Deadpool's out. Let me go ahead and check that out because that was fun. I think that, or maybe even if it's somewhere where you have like a choice either or, I think it'll help out either way. Just because it's just gonna be like that whole hero fever that you want to see more. Once you get out of the other one. So, man, I'm trying to think of a realistic number. I would have to say I'm gonna go with 210.
210.
Yeah,
gonna join the 200 mil club.
I think so. I really do. I think it's gonna do well. I think that just because it's gonna spread well from the reputation of the last one, and then I think also just the fact that people are gonna probably, like you said, already seen Infinity War. All right, let me see this, and then it's just gonna just build up as they go because, like you said, really great marketing campaigns and everything like that is gonna help get this movie out there. So yeah, I think 200 million plus is a good first weekend.
Okay, I get you down for 210.
Yep.
How about you guys? What do you think?
I mean, 150 would be great for any movie, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy that in this day and age, that seems to be, and I guess maybe I only.
It seems crazy, but remember, Justice League didn't even hit 100.
Yeah.
That's Justice League, though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's Justice League, man. Justice League. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it still happens that movies don't.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 165.
Okay.
Well, you might want to change that, Justin. I'm actually looking at the opening weekend for Deadpool #1, and it hit 130?
132, I think it was.
132, yeah. So
was it? Yeah, something like
I don't think Chris is far off. I'm gonna say 200 mil.
200? All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the chat? I got Unknown, I got Liking, I got Rag, I got Jason. Okay.
Gomez is up there.
What'd you say? 200? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. 200 milli.
Gomez had 205.
Gomez had 205.
Really, Gomez? You got a 5 up me.
He had it before. Jackie had 186.
Price is right, guys. Jackie 180. Okay, I got that. I got
JoJo
Rag,
says 175.
Liking. Okay.
JoJo's Comics.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the thing I like about Deadpool is that he's got no filter, and that's what's gonna make this film great, in my opinion.
And make sure that you have the first appearance of Peter Wisdom, everybody. Peter Wisdom.
Really?
That's right.
Yep.
Not Hit Monkey.
The guy with no powers, but he just wants to be on the team.
No. Because what, and that's actually kind of funny. I saw a video saying that like the fact that they put him in there is like, hi, I'm Pete. I don't have any powers. I'm this and that, and you know, they kind of exposed that as it's Pete Wisdom, and then on top of that, they said that like there may be more than meets the eye to him, and there may actually be more. Like you might see him in a couple of more movies down the road. So it's just like I guess that they're positioning him to be the breakout character, kind of the sleeper guy that you didn't see coming. That's going to end up, you know, actually being the one that, you know, ends up stealing the show a little bit. So, you know, if you can find his first appearance, and then you know,
it's in a dollar bin.
I'm going to tell you guys.
So
when we first got the trailer, and all you saw was the photograph, that was one of my predictions. I said it's got to be Pete Wisdom. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that. But that was a while back.
I lucked out and got that book just because I was finishing off that Excalibur run.
Yeah,
didn't even, you know, I didn't think about it until anybody said anything. So
can I do? So I'm gonna do something on Jesse's show real quick. Let's do this. I'm gonna give away some comic books.
What
for whoever can guess. We're doing domestic, right? First weekend domestic for Deadpool DP2. Yep. Is it are they allowed to go over or no?
Closest
you can go over. It's like, not like blackjack.
Price is Right rules or what?
Price is Right.
Price is Right. All right, Price is Right rules. Whoever's close without going over. I don't know what I'm going to give, but I'll give away some Deadpool related comics. How about that?
Cool. Awesome. I like it.
Yeah, chat, everybody included. Let's roll with that. So I'm going to I hope I don't burden you, Jesse, but
no,
because I know people watch it on the rewind. So let's go ahead. Should we allow people who watch on the rewind to?
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
All right.
Whoever watched on the rewind, everybody put in the comment section whatever you think is going to be the closest without going over Deadpool 2 domestic first opening weekend gross.
There you go. Whoever's closest gets some Deadpool related content from Strictly Comics.
There you go.
Awesome. Cool. All right, very good. And then I think it was JoJo who was asking about Venom. Venom 2, the trailer. Sure, y'all saw it. Hit me with some feedback.
It looked good, actually. You know, they expanded on a couple of things that the first trailer kind of left really, really open, and made me, you know, not quite too sure what I was actually watching. You know, it just didn't seem like something that actually fit. You know, Eddie Brock and a Venom character really at all. But this actually gives you a lot more clarity as to what's going on. It was pretty good, and it actually changed my opinion a little bit as far as, you know, what I thought the movie was going to be like. it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I don't know if it's going to end up being a huge hit, anything like that, but I think that it would be pretty enjoyable. It was pretty cool to see Eddie Brock actually talking with the Venom symbiote. I mean, and I'm sure that's a little bit further down in the movie when he realizes what's going on and that he can conversate and talk back and forth. I thought it was awesome when he's just like, we only heard bad guys, and all of a sudden, like, the Venom symbiote just kind of threw him up against the wall. It's like, we think we can do whatever we want. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Like,
I like that they're saying we.
Yeah, it's just
right.
And that's pretty cool. Like I hope that they really explore that dynamic a lot, where it's just like maybe the symbiote at first feels like I'm in charge because I can do this, and then maybe they change it up, and it's like, you know what? There's a bond going on between the two, and it's just like you can tell they need each other, and so it's like kind of like
it's
almost like their own but almost like their own team up movie within a solo character movie. That would be pretty cool. But I definitely like the scene where they showed all the vans and stuff being like knocked over. In the first trailer, they didn't show anything that really made sense of that. So I'm like, why are cars and vans exploding? And now you know why, because the symbiote is like protecting Eddie Brock against whatever's chasing them. And Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock was actually kind of funny in the trailer too, when he's just like, to do this you have to hide in plain sight. He's like, and you suck at it, like just talking to that person that's following him. Like, it definitely got me to really want to pay more attention to it. So it's not quite the just a standoffish opinion I had in the beginning. I think is one that I wouldn't mind seeing. I know my wife won't want to see it because she had seen the first trailer and just kind of like the face of Venom at that point. She's like, shows it, like it's a little bit for her. She seems to think it's like a horror movie, so she doesn't want to see that. So that's all right though. I think it's going to be pretty good though.
Yeah, that's cool. Some eagle-eyed folks had seen potentially another Sym-Bee-Oat.
Yeah,
in there too. So
they had it in the lab. As they're panning over, you see another tube with something kind of fluctuating and growing inside of it. So that could be pretty cool. Like and I know it had been rumored that Carnage would be in the movie. I still feel like that's kind of a mistake. They don't put Carnage in that quickly. Give it
build for another movie, a different movie.
Exactly, build it. You know what I mean? Just because you got to figure this movie, you're introducing Eddie Brock. You're just gonna get him used to his living with the Venom and symbiote and everything like that. You have to give him a chance to establish himself. To throw Carnage in there, that's sensory overload. No.
Yeah.
Don't like
too soon.
It already seemed like with the scene of Venom protecting Eddie, as it were, when he's on the motorcycle, that seemed more like Carnage than Venom to me,
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
Because Carnage has always got the stuff just hanging off of him doing whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. when it comes to the Venom, especially in the beginning, like if he wanted to project out, like if he wanted to punch something across the room, he would have to physically go and punch, and his arm would extend, or something would extend back, and then you would see, I think the only real difference is that if you see the suit kind of like retract off of him, because that was something that was more of a Venom trait. A Carnage trait would be the suit stays on him. And just kind of like protrudes out, wherever it needs to.
The other thing was, I some people were bringing up what they thought about it in the comments there or in the chat, but that was the weird thing. It's like the actual suit itself, like you got the teeth and everything, but the texture of it, like the look of it, looked like Spawn.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah,
I mean. I was like, wow, it's got the same kind of consistency.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I hope it's not a finished product.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Because World War Z did that. When they put that trailer out during the Super Bowl, a lot of people were kind of dissecting that trailer. And if you watch that trailer and compare it to the actual film, it actually wasn't a finished product in that trailer. And what I mean specifically, I'm sorry. What I mean specifically is where all the zombies were piling up on the wall. Yeah. And they were all trying to go over the wall. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Good scene.
I think the
I
trailer
think it's
was
definitely a
crap.
step in the right direction from what we got before.
Go ahead, Jesse. Did he freeze up? He must have. He froze it because I just see his face, just like.
Oh,
he froze.
His view was so strong it froze.
You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I think that right now is preliminary. I think that like that they'll go ahead and try to maybe do some things. 'Cause I had noticed that like some people had made comments that the eyes were a little bit too small. It should be a little bit wider. Things like that. And I do think that at this point, like the little clip that had shown when he's like, we're Venom. That looks like it might be a little bit preliminary. I think they might do a little bit of touch up on that and make that look, a little bit more polished before we get it to the point where it's in the theaters.
Well, I don't know if you touched on this, but one of the things people were pointing out was you don't see the spider on the chest.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
and that's like a defining trait of that character.
But why would he have it?
I don't think we gotta.
But why would he have that in this film?
I mean, that you make a good point, but
it has nothing to do with this character in this film.
You're right, but it's like, I don't know. It's almost like, to me, like Thanos without the gauntlet.
Well, I mean, I think that for it too, we haven't seen a full body, like full body Venom yet. Either.
Right, but why would an alien symbiote have a spider symbol on it? I'm just saying. Like, how are they going to work that into the story if it's not been on Spider-Man first?
Here's one, and here's one of the things I'm going to guarantee. I didn't see the film, but I guarantee there's going to be some kind of reference or some kind of, whether it's a screen time or whatever, from Spider-Man. Spider-Man, in one way or another, has to have some kind of part in this film, even if it's for like 20 seconds.
Peter.
Well, yeah, Peter Parker's going to be in it. I think because they said that Tom Holland had
Peter will be there, but not Spider-Man, and it's only going to be like a short, like walkthrough scene type thing.
Yeah,
like he doesn't have a substantial role in the film.
I bet you he's involved in that lab. Kind of just he might be involved in the lab, like walking through it. Like maybe that's part of some type of school project or something like that. And maybe you'll see something where it's like, oh, like maybe Spider tingles or something. Or maybe he walks through and the symbiote starts reacting. Because it maybe like senses that he's someone strong, something like that. I mean, I wouldn't see it be something that has to be super like linking to the fact that Spider-Man, Venom, and this is I think it'll just, like you said, be like one of those quick cameos and like just kind of noticing each other and then kind of just passing off. That's probably what I think you'll see.
I dropped off for a second. What did I miss? What are we?
We would just kind of
the symbol on his chest.
Yeah, like we had figured that.
How can they? Is there going to be one or not? And how do they justify putting it there? If so,
like a big V?
No. Like the he's supposed to
like the so like, basically, everyone was asking, like how come the skull was not his chest in the trailer, and then Justin's saying that because this Venom character in this movie isn't linked to Spider-Man in any way, shape, or form. So what would an alien know about a spider? You know what I mean? Like what would it know about that specifically? And so basically it was, everyone had said, well, at some point, Spider-Man's going to have something to do with this movie. Then we said that Tom Holland is going to be in it, probably just some type of quick pass through. I think he might be involved with the lab. Like maybe
what I heard was a signed school trip to the Life Foundation.
There you go. So that's what I think. He'll be in the lab, and maybe either the symbiote reacts when he walks by, or maybe he gets a spider sense that something's not quite right in the lab, but just kind of like moves on from it. I think it'll be more of that. The symbiote probably reacts to him being in there, figuring that he's something strong and maybe a good host. But
that's assuming he makes it out of Infinity War.
Well, that's true.
It is.
He was all busted up and bloody, and he's like, "I'm sorry, Tony Stark."
I mean, this might
that doesn't bode well for old Tom Holland there in the franchise.
Well, this could also, it
was a clone
place prior to Infinity War.
LMD Spidey.
I don't know, man. I think the trailer looked like crap, and I'm one of the biggest Venom fans. I don't have a whole lot of faith in this film, especially being run by Sony. I saw the first two Amazing Spider-Man films. The first one out with Andrew Garfield, I almost fell asleep in, and then the second one with Jamie Foxx, I didn't like it any better. But I don't know, man. It's just to Justin's credit, I guess there wouldn't be any reason for them to put it on, because when you look at Lethal Protector, according to what they say the film is supposed to be based on, none of the other symbiotes in that comic book had symbols on them or anything like that. But
he gave birth to 5 other ones, right?
Well, I didn't give birth to him. He was. I mean, removed.
They were. Yeah.
Yeah, he took piece of the symbiote and however he did it, made spawns of Venom.
Yeah, spawns is what I was.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. One of the things I do like about the trailer that I saw was the inner voice. I don't agree with the sound of the voice, but the fact that you had the inner voice played to the comics source material, which I thought was great. And I hope they make changes. I hope that they have an ear to the audience and fans' reactions and stuff like that, because if they don't, I see this film being a one and done.
Really? No, that's the funny part, because that was my whole thing before. I said he's not standalone. He's not good enough for a series. Not this. That's all I said the whole time. And now I said, it's funny that we kind of switched positions on that. I still don't think that it's something that you're gonna get 3-4 movies out of.
No, I think I was just messing with you as a fan, but
okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, I mean, I also think that I think that this will be better than I had initially thought. I don't think it's gonna be some type of really great revolutionary movie for Sony in conjunction with Marvel, but I do think that it's going to be something that it'll have its fun parts, and so long as we have just kind of a good lead up into a second movie, you got to consider it a win if they do it and improve upon what has been the previous iteration, which shouldn't be hard, because the Topher Grace the Topher Grace Venom was terrible. So this Tom Hardy being a good actor and everything has potential to kind of boost the character and then move.
He might do Eddie Brock well. He might do Eddie Brock better than Topher.
Yeah.
But when you compare, all right, so let's compare Venom to 2007 Venom. I actually like 2007 Venom a little bit better than this one. That's why I said I hope it's not a finished product, because they at least had the symbol. If you look at the coming on and coming off the Sym-Bee-Oat, it was almost the same as 2007. So there isn't really much improvement. You're talking 11 years later. So I don't know, man. I just hope they get it right before this film. I mean, you got plenty of time. You got what's October? You got 6 months still. Well, 5 months before this film is supposed to be released. So they could get it right, but I'm not counting. I am going into this film with low expectations. Let's just say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point,
word expectation.
I would say at this point it's gonna be it's gonna end up being just maybe post-production right now. I mean, I think already you have. I mean, just by looking at the comparisons, the Venom in 2007. I mean, look at it doesn't look good at all. I mean, if you just do some touch-ups and put make the eyes a little bigger and stuff like that,
the eyes from 2007 was bigger than this one.
I mean,
and not only that, but if you look at, do you guys remember in Spawn? Remember when the Violator's jaw dropped?
Oh my gosh, dude, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, like why doesn't this Venom have something like that? I mean, he eats brains. He talks about it all the time.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know if they're gonna give him that long jaw or anything like that. I think that right now, I think we're just still looking at something that's a little preliminary. I think that they're gonna do the post production, fix up different things here and there. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna, I mean, being that this is the second trailer, this is something that they're gonna go ahead and, work on. I think that there's time to tweak it, and there's definitely, there'll be some improvements made. I just think that, from a story point of view, it has potential to be decent if they just go about it in a way that, you know, isn't too rushed, and then it's not, you know, just really, you know, just cheesy for the fact of that we just want to throw Venom on screen, because that's what I think happened in Spider-Man 3 was that they just wanted to throw Venom on screen. And this one, I mean, they're actually, I think, taking a little bit more time to really tell the story of Eddie Brock and really put you know, Venom into, you know, the actual role and give him the time he needs to develop.
Yeah. And Big E says that after that statement doesn't even make sense. You're basing it on a teaser trailer. I mean, you're right, man. We're just going by what we have to work with right now. But I'll just say this. Jesse, can you put the screen on me for a second?
Yeah. Let me just say real quick. It looks like 2007. It looks like he's got like an underbite. 2000.
Yeah.
He's got much more of a more venomy jawline.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
an overbite in 2007.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, you're presented to everyone.
Well, I'll just say this because I don't have a whole lot of faith in this film. Before this movie actually drops, I've made up my mind. This will be getting either raffled or sold. Wow. Because I talked to Adam off air in the chat, and no, he was very convincing. He made a lot of sense. That's why this movie. Well, he ain't gonna get it, but I mean, you're talking what 2007 to 2008. You're talking 11 years. The hype will cause this book to go up, and then it'll plateau. But I'm not gonna wait another 10 years. I already have a raw copy, so I'm good. But this will either getting be raffled or sold, and it's at record peak value right now, and it's probably not peak, but it's probably going to go up. So I got to do it. I got to
sell it now while it's at a high point, and buy it later on when it dips.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to be a book that necessarily dips specifically. I think that
it won't
it won't dip a lot, but it'll dip a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think that will be something closer to a book that kind of goes up gradually over time. Nothing too crazy. I think that you know, you won't see it doing like how you know, like Iron Man 55 and stuff, like, you know, kind of just, you know, incrementally goes up you know, a couple % every single time. But Jesus Christ. Hold on for a minute.
Mother trucker.
Right.
I'm just gonna go ahead and I just closed the chat so I can't see everything. Because I read the beginning of it and I stopped. So, but yeah, I think that I mean, to sell it now is not a bad idea. I just don't think it's gonna dip really. I think that you'll be picking it up probably for less than what you'll end up selling it for at this point, but you know, over time, it'll, you know, eventually keep going up steadily, kind of like, you know, maybe not Hulk 181 type growth, but it'll see growth because it's still a big book. It's still, you know, definitely one of the.
What the heck is this dude? Ban that dude, man! Golly, get rid of him, man. I mean, I saw some of. I don't know if it's true or not, but man, get rid of this dude.
I just saw boom, 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 boom. I'm like, nope. All I saw was it said, you know, deaths in the movie. I was like, I close the chat. I'm like, I don't want to see it.
True or not, we don't want to hear.
You can unban later, but get rid of them now during the show.
I didn't ban. Ban
hammer.
Right.
Thor's ban hammer.
Well, let me. I know Jesse doesn't want to stay on Venom too long, but I'll just say this. We talked about this a little bit, kind of preparation for the show. But in case anybody doesn't know, I didn't know this until Todd McFarlane actually posted on Facebook, I think yesterday. But this is actually the 30th anniversary of when this book was released. So ASM 300 was released 30 years ago. Isn't that amazing?
30 years ago. Wow.
30. How old were you back then? I was 9.
30 years ago? I was 5.
5
years old.
Yeah.
And probably none of us were collecting comics.
She was 3. I heard that. She was 3.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I was I wasn't necessarily collecting them. I had gotten them as like gifts here and there for like Halloween and Christmas and stuff. But actively collecting, no. It's just like, oh, here's a comic book. We want to read it. Like, yeah. Flip through, see the pictures. Ooh, and then that was it. I didn't read a word.
Yeah, we were readers that we weren't collectors,
Right.
So
we didn't care about high grade.
I had books then, but I wasn't anywhere near what I became.
Yeah, no, not even close.
Yeah.
You become a master collector now, huh?
What have we become?
No.
Yeah.
Master Thor collector. Daredevil Thor.
There you go. I don't see. You can never master
Thor
collecting
Devil
because it always changes.
Exactly, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just hope to have a good idea of what you're doing.
I don't know if you get the Detective 27, Action 100, AF-15. I'd consider you a master collector.
You know what? You don't have to do it always right and have mastery, as long as you're having fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Exactly.
Collect what you like, huh?
Pretty much.
Word.
Just have fun when you can.
That's what's up.
Because if you're just, if you collect and you don't like it, then what are you doing? You just gathering stuff and no.
Yeah, what are you doing? Find a hobby you like. You know?
Yeah.
So if you get the ASM 263, you're a master. Sorry.
There you go. That's the book.
Please
right
stop
there.
presenting me.
That's a blue chip. Oh yeah, right.
And remember,
Right, blue chip.
Gotta get Excalibur.
Stop presenting. There we go. Yeah. There you go. All right, guys. What are you up to this weekend? Let's go ahead and we're getting up there. It's about 10:23.
Well,
so yeah.
This weekend I am so that small con that I had mentioned last week.
Yes.
It's small in terms of, I guess, the price, because it's only $5 to get in, but it's supposed to be an old school, comic book collection,
straight up comics,
everything like that. So I will be going to that and hopefully get 1 or 2 books signed by Al Milgram, and then just kind of go around and just have some fun checking out, I guess, what they consider to be an old school con, just for the fans, no celebrities, nothing crazy, just going in and just comics. So I can't wait. Comics and artists and original art, and so it's gonna be some good stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So that's my weekend, and maybe Infinity War. We'll see.
There you go. All right, Justin.
Infinity. Or what's coming up? We got a haul video coming up. We got Jesse's contest video coming up.
Yep.
Avengers Infinity War. Probably do a video of some sort about it. Or no, I'll just be on with Jesse on Sunday. So come back and check us out on Sunday. And then of course Sunday morning comics. I mean, there's stuff all over the place. This is crazy. Probably going to play some Magic this weekend too.
Right on. Some of the new one, right?
Yeah. Played the pre-release last weekend. That was great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Good stuff. All right. Edwin, what you got going on? Upcoming on Strictly?
I don't know. But I'm sorry, man, dude. I've been pressing so much. And here's the thing, man. I know I see a lot of you guys do stuff on Wednesdays and Thursdays and stuff like that. My wife and I go to a Bible study every Wednesday, so I'm really not able to do anything on Wednesday, although I'm thinking about doing something Sunday. But Friday, if Rag confirms this, I'll probably be on his show, him and Gomez, the 9.8
Posse.
9.8 Posse. So I may be on that. So
POSSE.
Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But other than that, I don't have much else going on. I'm gonna eventually. I feel like I'm gonna eventually bring Freestyle Fridays back. I just have to figure out what it's gonna look like. So, but yeah,
some new turntables.
There you go.
All right, cool. So big weekend coming up. Infinity War dropping. Justin's seeing it tomorrow. I'm seeing it Saturday morning. Come back here Sunday evening, because we are going to be talking about the movie, reviewing it, feedback, initial thoughts, all that good stuff. Probably spoiler free. We may do a spoilery segment. We'll let you know. But that's coming up. Also, I got a haul. I got a back issue haul, like I said before. Tons of stuff. The contest, it was just said at the beginning, does end on Sunday. So you have a couple days left to enter my 2K giveaway. So get your entries in while you can. And then into next week, we are looking forward to a bunch of stuff. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. followed by Revenge of the 5th, May 5th, which is also Free Comic Book Day, and Cinco de Mayo. So there's a lot of stuff there, but we'll be talking about that next week. So there you go. That's it, guys. This is Comic Conversation. This has been episode 82. See you guys next week. So have a good night. Hopefully the draft, we get to see what's going on with the draft.
Oh yeah,
checking that out, right? We got to see what the Pats are doing, right?
Yep.
So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. Leave us some comments. Thumb up, thumb down, whatever. Thanks. We like it either way.
Yeah.
So there you go. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.
What do I click?